Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. It is official now that Star Trek Strange New Worlds, with the upcoming third season, and fourth season already in production, will be ending with its fifth season. And right now, the information that's coming out, it looks like it's only going to be a 6-episode fifth season. We'll see if that holds true or not, and what the rest of the schedule for the release of the fourth and fifth season will be. I have a very strong feeling that the near future of Star Trek is going to start panning out as I had expected. I've talked about this a lot, to where I feel like this era of Star Trek is slowly wrapping up, and we're going to have probably a period, hopefully short period, of dormancy, and the franchise then come back in a new form under new leadership. And I think that'll probably be for the best, because this era of Star Trek has had a lot of ups and downs. There have been some things that I think are genuinely fantastic, some things that are unfairly maligned, but then there's also been a lot that's been heartbreakingly disappointing and downright terrible. It's been a very mixed bag. A lot of great variety with the shows, but oftentimes it felt like throwing every dart at the dartboard at once and trying to see what sticks, and sometimes it did or didn't. Very chaotic era, and I really hope that as things more than likely start winding down, that there is a greater vision and plan for the next era, the next wave of Star Trek in the future. I've been talking about how not only do I have that feeling, but why certain shows have not continued or been greenlit, and why certain shows have. I really think we hit a certain point about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, through 2024, where the things that were in production or going into production were things that already had elements of pre-production done, or a lot of contracts signed, a lot of behind-the-scenes elements, that things that were not already geared to go. Stuff like the fan-favorite, non-existent Star Trek Legacy idea teased at the end of Picard Season 3. That was something that was not realistically already in the works, and I feel like that's why that has not panned out, because the things that are continuing are things that were already on their way to production, things that in the corporate world already had ink on paper, at least to get the ball rolling, and those things are going to be followed through. So we'll see where that goes. Strange New Worlds will be ending with Season 5. I'm betting that the Academy show, which is already going to have 2 seasons, will likely end with only those 2 seasons. And projects like the possible upcoming live-action comedy series and possible animated project that are teased to be possibly in the works either won't come to bear at all, or will come and go very quickly, or they will be pushed back and be things that kind of launch the next era of Star Trek. And I hope not, just from the description of what those projects could possibly be. We'll see what happens with those, but I genuinely feel like Star Trek will go back into a period of dormancy by the end of 2027. I think we will see, obviously, Strange New Worlds Season 3 is coming out very soon. First season of Academy, I'm betting, will either be by the end of this year or early next year, along with Strange New Worlds Season 4. And then by the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, see that final season of Strange New Worlds, second season of Academy, and by then we'll know the future of whatever other projects are possibly in the works, whether they'll actually come out or not, or what they're going to entail. But that is my prediction right now, and the hopes that I have, though, are that if this era is winding down, that it ends on a high note. I really hope that Strange New Worlds has a third, fourth, and short fifth season that are even better than the first 2 seasons. I hope that the Academy show, which I kind of have my worries about, ends up being a surprise and shocks me with how great it is. I really hope that while this era has had more disappointments than things that I've been excited about, I do hope that to have this era looked upon more favorably, those elements that were good don't get overshadowed by ending this era on a sour note. So I do have my fingers crossed, and I do really hope that these shows that are still on the horizon exceed expectations, and going in with a lot of positivity, at least as much as I can muster, and looking forward to see what the future of Star Trek becomes.